Larissa with BeCozi.net is here. Happy Sunday and happy 4th of July. It's warm outside, but today I would like to show you how to make this beautiful Bolero, Shrug, or whatever you call it. It's made from a super chunky Merino wool, and it's kind of too warm for this time of the year, but in just a couple months it's gonna be much colder, and it's actually winter time in Australia now and New Zealand. So if you would like to make something like that for yourself or one of your friends or family members who is always cold or battling with maybe the disease, because this was actually a request from one of the ladies who wrote me and asked to show how to make this for her friend who is always cold. So I'm making this video for her and everybody else who would be interested, and that would be a beautiful gift for anybody you know or for yourself. It's made from 2 pounds of super chunky merino wool, and it's not too tall on the top. If you want to make it bigger, that it would cover your neck, you would start with more rows here. We start with 3 rows. And if you want it to be longer here, you can again make it longer by adding some rows, and you will need some additional wool. Also, we have a Christmas in July sale. We have 6 colors of super chunky merino wool, up to 25% off. So if you're interested in some summer knitting project, you can find wool for this project at BeCozi.net. You can also find us on Etsy at BeCozi.etsy.com. And now I will show you how to make this beautiful Bolero. Let's do it. Okay guys, let's get started. So we are starting with casting on. This is your tail of the yarn. This is the working yarn. Make a loop, insert your hand, grab working yarn and pull it out, making a stitch. You can make it bigger or smaller, pulling up and down, and I would suggest to have it 2.5 inches, maybe 3 inches. For this, if you're making blanket, it's better to have it 3 inches. For this project, it's good to have it 2.5. Now we will need to make a chain of 10 stitches. Insert your hand, grabbing working yarn and pull it out, making second stitch, and then the same way, just with your hand, grab working yarn and pull it out. It's really easy, and we will need a chain of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we are using today this beautiful pink color super chunky merino wool. You can buy it at BeCozi.net. And we also have beautiful pink powder. It's a little bit lighter than this pink color. So here we have 10 stitches chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What we will be doing now, we will be knitting in a circle to avoid connection of the knitting project. And to do this, put your cast on chain in a circle and then connect 2 ends. Connecting will be happening this way. You don't need tail, so you can put it inside. You are leaving this last stitch, and then you insert your right hand in the top part of the last stitch on this side, not this one, this one. You insert your hand, grab working yarn and pull it out. Then do the same all the way around. You're using the top part of every stitch, grabbing working yarn and pull it out. And this way you will have 10 stitches, but they will be in a circle this time. not just a chain. All the way around. And now we are back to where we started. So you are knitting this stitch as any others, and you can see that now you have this beautiful circle of knitting. How to make this side looking beautiful? You separate the tail in two, and then you insert one of them in the last stitch, and then make a knot. And then when we have it knitted, you will weave in the ends or hide these ends inside the stitches inside your project on the inner part. Now we will need to knit 3 rows around, and you can either mark your beginning of your knitting, or you can actually see it over here with this little tail hanging. You know that this is the place where you start your first row. So now we're making your second row. Here we reached the last stitch, the knot, and we are going around one more time, and the number of rows will depend on how tall you want this shrug or poncho be, because if you want it to be really high and hide all of your neck, then you need to make at least 5 rows, not 3. We're making 3 because this will be a shrug covering part of your neck, not the whole of it, not all of your neck. Okay, so we have 3 rows, and you can calculate 3 rows by calculating your stitches. 1, 2, 3. This is 3 rows. And now this is our knot. You can see that this is your third row. Now we will increase our knitting. Now we will need to increase the number of stitches. So we have 10, and we will need to have 20. So how we will do it? You can see that between these 2 stitches there is a connection. We will use it to make a new stitch. We will insert our hand underneath, grab working yarn and pull it out. It will actually give us a little hole like that, but it will actually look really beautiful on a finished product. If you want to do it differently, you can just add a stitch by making a little loop like that. It's up to you. See, and then make another stitch, and this stitch will be for the next row, but I will show you making the stitches this way. So we have this extra stitch between every of the stitches we had on this circle. So you knit 1, and then you add 1, and keep doing this way until you reach that little knot, your mark of beginning of the row. When when you're knitting like that on circle, it's easier to, because you're avoiding connecting 2 parts at the end when your product is ready. I really like using this way of knitting coals or any other stuff like this. Anyway, so now you can see where this is our knot. We made the whole new row with all those added stitches, and now we will need to knit 4 more rows, and the length of this rows, just simple knitting, and insert your hand, grab working yarn, and go through all the stitches, including those that were created in the previous row. And again, the length of this shrug will depend on how long you want it. If you wanted to cover just your shoulders, 2-3 rows will be fine. If you want to cover your arms, kind of in between area between shoulder and elbow, then you can follow this instructions and do what we're doing, and we will have 4 rows after we added stitches. It's easy to see where we are because we have this little knot showing us. This shrug will be a really, or Bolero actually, it's called differently. It could be a really warm piece of the wardrobe for those who are always cold. If you have a friend or a family member who is always cold, or maybe have some kind of disease making them cold, this will be a really beautiful gift for such person. Okay, I will make 4 rows, and then I will come back and show you what to do next. Okay, so now we have 4 rows, and you can see that we can see that knot, and how we know that it's 4 rows. From the knot we can calculate 1, 2, 3 rows before we started increasing, and then you can see these little holes. These little holes will be kind of showing you where you started increasing it, and it also looks beautiful on your product. So from there, 1, 2, 3, 4, you have 4 rows. And now we will start casting off, and casting off this particular Bolero or Shrug will be a little bit different, and it will be different because you will need to make a stitch really big, because it will need basically to round the whole knitting product around your body. So you're grabbing this last stitch, adding another stitch, grab working yarn, pull it out, and make it big. You need to make it at least twice as bigger as your stitches. So if your stitches were about 2.5 inches, this should be good 5 inches. Otherwise you will not fit into this shrug. So now you have this huge stitch, add another one, and grab working yarn, pull another long stitch out. You can see that it's kind of rounding out our shrug or Bolero. And again, your hand is inside big stitch, add the smaller one, grab working yarn, and pull another one big stitch out. And we will keep doing this way all the way around. This way we cast off all the stitches. Don't forget that your stitches should be pretty big. See, the stitches are pretty huge comparing to those that we usually make in casting off. Again, as I mentioned, this will be pretty short Bolero, and if you want it to be longer, like up to your elbows maybe, you just need a little bit more of the wool. First, remember we made first 3 rows, and see, I made it a little bit too small, and then you increased it, and then 4 more rows. So it's pretty easy project. It will take you probably maybe an hour, or if you take your time, it will take you a couple hours. So as you can see, we are done. We went all the way around. Now we have this last stitch left and a little bit of this weird looking area. So what we will do, we will actually connect this last stitch with the last stitch on the row or first one we started casting off. So you're inserting your hand in the last one, grab working yarn, pull it out. This way it will be beautiful end. And then you just insert the tail inside and pull it out, and that's how you finish your knitting. And I will not be cutting it, but when you cut it, you will need to hide it in such way. So this is your tail. You are going with this tail underneath the next stitch. See, this is the stitch. You're going underneath the following stitch and then back. So this is the stitch and then back. And this way, I have two strings here, that's why it's a little bit thicker. You will have just one. And then this little tail you can just hide anywhere on the back, behind any of the stitches, like that. So, and again, you will not have two, so it will be looking a little bit different. I just don't want to cut the wool. So here we have this beautiful bolero. So when you look this way, you can see it. This is the place where you insert your head, and this is our tail, which with which excuse me, we started. So what you need to do, you just need to hide it between stitches inside your knitting area, like that, and it will not be seen. So here you go, beautiful bolero. It will make you really warm during cold evenings in summer, or during cold time in fall and winter that are coming just in a couple months. You can find such wool at BeCozi.net. Subscribe to our channel, follow us on Instagram at BeCozi, and on Facebook at BeCozi, and stay warm and BeCozi.